in LA, we're just waking up. It's 9 o'clock, so chicken is like the last thing I feel like eating right now. But what's amazing is that you can prep ahead and have this ready for breakfast. I mean, for lunch. So I'm going to show you really quick. Hang on, I'm just shutting off this sound. I'm going to show you how to make some really, really great second lunches from last night's leftover. So if you made chicken last night for dinner, why not turn it into something completely new today? And that is what my new cookbook is going to be all about, Prep and Rally. And that is what my whole subscription service, prepandrally.com, is really based around. It's about bulk prepping something on Sunday, and then all week long, you just have staples that you can mix and match throughout the week so that you have really quick and easy dinners, lunches to get you through. So I'm going to show you how to make some really great items out of leftover chicken. Everyone knows about a chicken salad because it's simple. I don't know why this echo is on here. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. I have this thing open so I could do an overhead. There we go. That was like tripping me out. There was like an echo there. Anyways, it's still on here. Hang on one second. I'm so sorry. I wanted to do like a fancy, I'm going to leave this chat. There we go. Oh, I couldn't hear myself think. There was like an echo going on from this other mic. Okay, hi you guys. I'm Dini, Klein of Prep and Rally. So yes, I'm going to show you guys how to make a really, really fun chicken salad to get through the week really simply. So I have 3 different ways to repurpose last night's chicken. All right, so I'm showing you with like small quantities just so I can give you a sense of what to do here. But the sky is the limit. And similar to my subscription service and the cookbook, I always want people to just be super flexible. Use what you have on hand, which I'll show you all the different condiments that I literally just went through my fridge last night to figure out what I could make with this leftover chicken. And use what you got to make something completely new and different and exciting. I never believed in prepping like a huge batch of leftover chicken and broccoli and portioning it out for the week like most people think of meal planning, because that's just so boring. I could never do that. But being able to create so many different dishes out of things that you have at home and just getting a little creative so that you're not eating the same boring food every day. That to me is number one. So the first thing we're going to do, you take your leftover chicken. So this I just have like some grilled chicken from last night. All you're going to do is you can either shred chicken if you have like a rotisserie chicken. You could cube it. You could shred it. You can do thinly sliced pieces, really whatever you want. And what's cool is that you could have that variety and you can switch it up every single time to always make it feel a little bit different. So we have one chicken salad going in over here. This is the cutting board that she was talking about. So I designed this with my dad, actually. My dad's super creative. I grew up doing woodwork, metalwork. I kind of say that I'm like the girl version of him because he does like all these super creative manly things. And I grew up doing all that with him. So we created this cutting board together, which is super fun. It has a phone holder for your iPhone, so you can prep along little videos and recipes right here next to you, like always right there by your side. And then I also love it with the handle because you pick it up and everything just gets easily pushed into your bowl. And then so you prep on this side, and the other side where there's no iPhone slit, that's the side to rally on, where you get to serve and display really fun meals on it, like a charcuterie board. So I finally chopped up the chicken. To this, we're going to add, so the first thing I'm going to do is more like a Caesar wrap, okay? So that's one option. There's so many things you could do. Chicken is a blank canvas, and it's just endless, the different combinations. So I have mustard here, some capers. If you don't love the having pieces of capers in your food, but you want that salty brininess that capers add, I'm obsessed with capers. All you got to do is just give it like a rough chop with your knife, and then you won't have those big pieces in your food. And a lot of kids tend to like pick them out and like, what is that? So because they're green, some think they're peas. But if you just finely chop it, they blend in a lot better, and it adds a really good punch of salt flavor that you really want. Briny saltiness. It's so yummy. So you just throw that in there. And honestly, I love using it. We're kind of doing like a Caesar salad here. I really love using it in place of anchovies because it gives that similar salty flavor. All right, a little bit of garlic powder. So I have my chicken, my Dijon, capers, garlic powder, and tahina. Okay, or tahina, as we call it in Israel. So this, I like to use this in place of mayo. Either if I don't have mayo on hand or I want to lighten it up a little bit, or just want to use something that's not mayo because mayo has more of a distinct flavor. Tahina is a really great ingredient to make it creamy and rich and kind of bring everything together. Season with a little bit of salt and a little pepper. And if you don't have a pepper mill, like I keep saying, I need to buy myself a fancy, pretty one, like one of those like bronze ones. I love those. I need to get myself one. But if you don't have one of those, or just haven't gotten around to getting one, just get a basic pepper grinder from your grocery store. It makes such a difference having freshly ground black peppers and having the pre-ground stuff. Trust me. All right, and then I have some fresh basil leaves. I actually have this hydroponic little farm stand in my backyard. So I just picked some last night and just give it a rough chop. Ooh, that smells so good. Anytime you introduce fresh herbs to a dish, it just wakes everything up. Same with lemon. If I had lemon, I would throw that in here. I'm totally out, but definitely lemon zest, lemon juice, and herbs. I have a whole section on that in the cookbook because those are really flavors that just wake everything up, and you would never know that you're repurposing something left over because it all tastes so fresh and clean and yummy and new. So that's it. So that's the Caesar chicken, as I'm calling it. And then to make your Caesar wrap, pretty self-explanatory, but you could take any wrap that you like here. I have these Ezekiel wraps. They're nice and healthy. I'll put the stuff in there for you. Caesar romaine. You could cut your own lettuce. This is just so easy to buy it ready to go, especially for quick lunches. And even though my meal prep subscription is really meant to cover dinners Monday through Thursday, there are always leftovers, and I always give suggestions on how to repurpose things. So if you do have some leftover chicken from the week, you could always turn it into this kind of wrap, right? So always repurposing and getting creative with food to avoid waste, right?
Dini, so while you're doing that, I'm just going to throw some questions at you that are popping up. One, do you prefer to cook with chicken breast, chicken thighs? If you could re-highlight what that was that you used instead of mayo, and then some of those key pantry staples and herbs that you keep on hand, and I'll pop back down and gather some more questions.
Yes, amazing. So yeah, so these pantry staples, I mean, honestly, I just go through and see whatever I have, but these things are normally stocked in my fridge. It's tahina, Dijon mustard, capers, super good. Fresh herbs, I always love to have on hand. And then back here, you'll see I'll get into another wrap where I have some sun-dried tomatoes, honey I always keep stocked in my pantry, harissa, and some barbecue sauce. So that's kind of what I'm using today. Salt and pepper, tortillas. This kind of tortilla is kind of like tearing a little bit. It's a little bit of a tougher tortilla. But check this out. How good that looks. Isn't that beautiful? So those are kind of key staples. They're always really good to keep on hand when you are trying to assemble last minute lunches or even dinners. They make really, really quick meals and give you a lot of flavor with minimal effort. And that's really what I love to do. As far as the kind of chicken I like to use, it really is so personal. It totally depends. I think for doing a shredded chicken, if you want it to be shredded, chicken breast is the way to go. And you could either poach it, like just take simple chicken breast, boneless, skinless, stick it in a pot with some water or some vegetable stock or chicken stock and just simmer it until it's cooked through about 25 minutes or so, and then just shred it. You can do something very simply like that, or you could just take leftover chicken that you have, such as I had thin cut chicken breast from last night, so that's why I'm just like cubing that up because it's not going to like shred as well because it's cut thin. If you have rotisserie chicken, you could totally shred up whatever you have, any mix of white meat, dark meat, totally up to you. It's totally a personal preference. We do a lot of white meat in our house. We don't really like dark meat as much. The kids are fine with it, but my husband Mike and I are more into chicken breast. And yeah, so that's the first item. So that's our kind of like Caesar wrap, which is so yummy. Check it out. Whoa, looks so good. All right, so then we're gonna make another version of kind of like a chicken wrap. And this one is going to be kind of Middle Eastern vibes in a corn tortilla. So it's kind of like Mexican Middle Eastern mashup. So this one, I have some other pantry staples. And I can't push enough how important it is to have some good staples stocked in your kitchen, both in your fridge and your pantry. So I always have tons of vinegars and canned goods in the cookbook. I go through all of my connector staples. But vinegar, I think, is so important, having all kinds of vinegar, because every food needs a pop of acid and flavor, which is why I cook with so much lemon. Lemon's another great option. But yeah, things like this to always have in your fridge. It lasts such a long time, and you use them on everything. And once you learn to use them and you see what each of them do in a dish and how they help flavors, and once you can learn to kind of mix your own flavor profiles, that's what it's all about. And that's also what the cookbook is really going to feature, is just being a guide, a helpful guide to keep coming back to, rather than a cookbook that you come to for just individual recipes. I really wanted it to be something that is super helpful to really show people what flavors go well together and how to make it your own, and how to always modify recipes so that your family is happy, because no two families are the same. Every kid wants something different. So I like doing one dinner for the whole family, but having a lot of small modifications to make it work for everyone. So if you don't want the herbs in yours, you don't have to put it in. If you want the mustard, you could put mustard in some, or everyone can add their own. So anytime you can have like a DIY component, really helps ensure that everyone's happy. Okay. So here is some more diced chicken. That same chicken we're putting in here. And grab a towel real quick. We're just going to make it sort of Middle Eastern. So we're gonna throw in some sun-dried tomatoes. I'm obsessed with sun-dried tomatoes. They're just chewy. They're kind of like candy. They're so yummy. Chewy. Have like a really, really yummy flavor. Tomatoes are just the best. All right, so sun-dried tomatoes, a little harissa if you like it hot. If not, do not worry about it. You can always omit it. But harissa is a really, really nice ingredient. And I do a touch of honey, because that hot sauce honey is kind of like that hot honey. You see that hot honey? So yummy together. So a little bit of honey in there just to bring out some sweetness. And then I have loads of herbs from my garden. So I have some chives, I have parsley, I have a little bit of dill. I went up to my garden last night and I just grabbed a bunch of everything, because honestly, the more the merrier. And you could totally throw this into a traditional wrap, similar to how I just wrapped that one up. Another option is a quesadilla. You could throw it in between two tortillas and pan fry it in a frying pan. So the last option is more of like a taquito, which is basically rolled up in the tortilla, and then you pan sear it. But what's good to do, let me show you. I like to get my burner on. Grab a different one. And corn tortillas can be tough and kind of rubbery, so what you need to do is throw them on a flame and just heat it for a couple seconds. I could show you, but I shut off the other mic because it was just tripping me out, the sound. So here we go. So I'm just, the fire's on high, and I have my tortilla just sitting right on top of the wrap. Can you see it? Literally just lay it right on top. You don't want to go far. You want to stay pretty close by. And you're just going to let it go until you see a little bit of char. And this is how whenever I make any kind of tortilla, you never want to eat a corn tortilla straight from the fridge. You always want to heat it through, because it makes it more pliable, so you can actually roll it. Plus, that char flavor is what you're looking for. It is so good. All right, another second. Just warming it through ever so gently. Just looking for any question. All right. And feel free to ask any question. I am available to answer anything. Ooh, okay, perfect. Yeah. So you see it's a little bit charred on the edges. You see it's steaming. I don't know if you can tell it's steaming. It smells so good. Okay, so, and then you're able to roll it. So here we go. You take your filling, throw it right there in the center. And either you could just eat it like this, just like a taco, as is, right? Just fold it up and just eat it like that. Alternatively, you can roll it like a taquito, rolling it up like this. And you could place it seam side down in a baking dish, cover the top with a little bit of oil, and then roast it like 400 degrees. Just cook it ever so gently for like 15 minutes or so, just until the top gets even crispier, all cooks together. And then you could top it with anything you like. You could do guacamole, really anything that you're into. But these are so good. I love tortillas. And tortillas are an ingredient that I keep stashed in my fridge at all times because they are perfect for using up leftovers. You can make meat tacos, quesadillas, any kind of tortilla, any kind of burrito, taquitos. They're just so fun. So having wraps and tacos and tortillas are a great way to, to always have stashed in your fridge for last minute repurpose meals. All right, and the last thing I want to show you guys, I'm telling you, this is really endless. Like you could really do anything with leftover roasted chicken, but I want people to really think differently about leftovers because there's so much new life you can give them if you just get a little creative, use some great French staples, and have some fun with it. Last thing, I'm kind of known for my egg rolls, but they're so good. I used to do this. I used to be a private chef, and I would cook for my clients and come home and have nothing to eat. So we would make a lot of egg rolls because there's just so much that you could do with them as well. They're a great little way to get leftovers in. So I'm just going to wet this a tiny bit. So these I actually had in the freezer. I always keep them either in my fridge or freezer. So I have them. They freeze beautifully. And then when you just unwrap them, you take your stack of egg roll wrappers. And I like to take a wet paper towel and you keep it on there as you're working through them so you don't dry them out. So I'm just going to take a little egg roll wrapper here. All right. So you take one roll, one paper, one sheet. A lot of people are scared to make their own egg rolls, but it is so easy. And once you learn how to do it, it's like a joke. It's so simple. Oh, what did I make my filling? Hold on. I gotta make our filling. Guys, off today. Do you see this? Solomon was up. My baby was up all last night. That's what's so funny and ironic that this event is all about being mama and working and keeping life in order because heck, last night was exhausting. He was up all night long. I was prepping all yesterday because we're going away for the weekend because I just needed to get away on a vacation. We've had a lot of Jewish holidays this month. The kids have just been home. So mama is tired. So this is real. This is real life, man. All right, so we have more chicken in here. Same chicken, but in a different way. All right, and then we're just throwing in some barbecue sauce. And again, you can put any flavors you like in here. I like using barbecue. It's just so simple. If you have any leftover vegetables on hand, broccoli, peas, green beans, anything you have from the week, by all means, throw it in there. It'll just make for a more complete meal. You can do like sauteed cabbage, go more like traditional kind of Asian flavors. I'm just doing a barbecue sauce here just because it's simple. And okay, we're ready now. Take your egg roll wrapper. I'm going to keep this covered just to keep it from drying out. And here is what you're going to do. You take your bit of filling, okay? And all you do to make your egg roll, you take your bottom corner. So you put it in the angle of like a diamond shape rather than a square. You take your bottom corner and tuck it up and over and underneath the filling. Side goes in, and then you roll, roll, roll. And then you take a dab of water, and that's kind of your glue. You don't need egg or anything. You literally take a little bit of water, boom. And that is your, don't mind like the parsley on there, but that is your egg roll. See? So cute. Kids love these because they're portable, they're little, everyone gets their own. They get so crispy. Bake them on a parchment-lined baking sheet for about 15 minutes or so at 400 degrees. It is so good. You could fill anything in an egg roll. So keep them on hand in your freezer. Start repurposing your leftovers. There's so much more stuff that you could do with them to avoid the garbage can. Just think creatively. You don't need to eat the same dinner every single night of the week in order to get through it. Always give it new life and make it fun, enjoyable, get the kids involved, and make dinners that your whole family is super excited about. All right, you guys, thank you for bearing with me today. I hope you all enjoyed, and please reach out with any questions. Happy to help with anything and answer any questions anybody has about repurposing leftovers, meal prepping, really anything. And be sure to come check me out at Prep and Rally on Instagram. The cutting board is available at shopprepandrally.com, also available on prepandrally.com. So that was very good timing.
You love that as it just not be but most that I know only at home work from home and a husband. And be sure to check out the video which in the chat for today seems that's something that we are and your help in a stage of CEO Pharmaceuticals much and rally that.
That sound was so weird. Is everyone all good there? All better? That was such weird sound. I thought it was all like so delayed. Can you hear me? Leah?
So, Dini, I think I love that you shared last night that you were up all night, because that is the spirit of this conference, 100%. I think, Leah, we're always, everyone's doing the challenges with the virtual, so we do what we can. But I loved so much those 3 different recipes that you did. We shared the video that you had on the one, but you did a little couple of the deviations with the recipes. We'll try and get those from you and share them, because we have so many comments that people are blown away by the different ways that you repurposed all of that chicken. And I'm sitting here starving, and I'm like, oh, I know what I'm making tonight.
Go in your fridge, go see what you have. And that's really what it's about. It's about being flexible. When people are following my meal plans and menus, they're always like, oh, I don't have keepers. I'm going to run to the grocery store. And I'm like, no, here are 10 different things you could do to avoid the grocery store. Like, I refuse to make a single trip to the grocery store for one item. So,
and I love that. And can you talk a little bit more? So you have your own subscription-based service, which is a huge help for so many working parents, because it takes the guesswork out of it. Would love for you to talk, while we got a couple more minutes, about what that actually is and how it's going to help all of our busy working parents.
Yeah. So the prep and rally system, I really came up with it when I was cooking for clients as a private chef, and I'd come home and have no food for my own family because I was so sick and tired of feeding other people and cooking all day long on my feet. So I came up with this really smart meal prep system where I would cook 8 or so staples on Sunday. And it wasn't portioning out beef and broccoli for 4 different meals, or, making a pasta for portioning it out for 4 different meals like you see traditionally in meal prep plans. It was more about the staples. So a big batch of quinoa, a big double batch of chicken, 2 big batches of roasted vegetables, and 2 sauces or something, just to mix and match throughout the week, so that you have a lot of different meals. And from that, you can make a grain bowl with the chicken. You can make you take the chimichurri and the roasted eggplant and put it in a quesadilla with some cheese and sauce. So there's really like a lot of different things that you could do with those staples. So it's about thinking creatively, how